The final game of this 4-game set between Duluth and Waterloo as we are scoreless through 1.5 innings at Wade Stadium. Zach Penrice, Mitchell Speltz with you on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon along the coast of Lake Superior. 5, 6, and 7 for the hometown Huskies due up in the second. Harrison Moore, Hunter Biggie, and General MacArthur. Mike Townsend back on the hill for Waterloo. Had a pretty clean first inning, only allowed the hit-by pitch to Sogard. Other than that, nothing doing. First pitch to Moore, big cut by the Husky right fielder, and it's 0-1.
So the first time you've ever seen Moore take a hack like that. He's normally been the one to make pretty good solid contact with just a nice easy swing.
Breaking pitch misses down and away from Townsend. Ball on a strike. We saw Parker Hansen run into a little bit of trouble in that top half of the second. Allowed 2 base runners, but then back-to-back flyouts by Anderberg and Murdy ended the threat. This ball nugged back to the pitcher, picked up by Townsend off of a hop, fires off his back foot. That's in time to Anderberg. Pretty easy play for Townsend on the mound, and Harrison Moore is retired for the first out of the second inning.
Going back to that point you made about Parker Hansen, he got out of it, but 2 hot line drives. He gave up a good position by his outfielders, put him in position to get those last 2 outs and work around some 2-out trouble that he was in.
And a good story coming up here in Hunter Biggie, who hasn't played in a starting spot defensively since June 12th in a game at Thunder Bay. Gets the start at first base today. First pitch swinging, fouls it back out of play. We've seen him in a pinch hitting spot recently. We've seen him DH or play as a substitution at first, but since he was listed as a pitcher for much of this season, he just recently made the switch back to an infielder.
He's been a Swiss Army knife, if you want to call it, for this team. The ability to pitch and hit. Has a good bat as well. We've seen him not just play that first base and pitcher spot, he's also played second base, and he looks like a bigger guy, 6 foot 205, but very nimble on his feet. He moves well in the field, very well, good with his footwork.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Chopping ball over towards second. Kevin Walsh off of a couple of hops, gathers it up on to first in time to Anderberg. Couple of easy ground balls for the infield of Waterloo. And there's 2 gone in the second inning. Pretty easy going for Mike Townsend so far in this one.
I think most impressive about him, not a lot of hard contact off him. Had a strikeout of Isaacson. I mean, he hit it better, but otherwise a weak flyout, got a fielder's choice, and a couple of weak ground outs to start this game. Normally a guy that gives up a lot of hard contact because he throws strikes, but nothing doing so far.
Here's General MacArthur. First pitch swinging, fouls it back and out of play. And are we surprised at all to see him swinging on the first pitch? He swung at the first pitch of his first plate appearance last night and sent it over the left field wall.
That's the kind of guy he is. He's a free swinger. He's going to go after that first pitch if it's a good one. But I'm interested to see how he responds today after his great game at the plate yesterday.
0-1 breaking ball in the dirt, skips toward Emerson. And we talked about Miles Emerson a lot last night, the catcher for Waterloo. Catching for the 3rd straight day for the Bucks, and he's been a wall all series back there. As this ball misses down in the way, it's 2-1.
I'll do my best to remember, but I just think 1 pass ball or wild pitch in that stretch.
I think that's right.
It was yesterday. But didn't get that far away from him.
This is his 20th straight inning catching in this series, so that's impressive. And there are a lot of balls that could have gotten away from him, too.
Exactly, and it's more tougher because it's a day game after a night game. Typically, you might see maybe Anderberg catch this game, but he's been so good defensively on his bat, you need him in that lineup.
MacArthur taking some, swinging for some, and he's worked a full count. Looking for a 2-out base runner are the Huskies. If MacArthur gets on, he's got that great speed, could easily try a stolen base. 3-2 from Townsend. Fastball chopped foul. Little nubber over toward the Huskies dugout, and we'll try it again. MacArthur, a junior at Missouri Baptist. He is one of the Huskies that's been with them since the beginning. Since night number 1, all the way back on May 29th. And here we are in the 15th to last game of the regular season. How fast it has gone. Townsend ready. 3-2 to MacArthur. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Second strikeout for Townsend. At 89 miles per hour, he blows it right by General MacArthur, and the inning is over. The Huskies retired in order in this second. We're quickly through 2 at Wade Stadium. No score between the Bucks and the Huskies. Off to the 3rd when we come back. Take a look at the Duluth Huskies in their first base side dugout as they're ready to come to the plate for the first time tonight. Zach Penrice alongside R11 here. So glad you could be with us on this Tuesday evening. We are at Wade Stadium in Duluth, Minnesota, where the first place Huskies holding the 6th place lacrosse Loggers. The Huskies get started here with Isaacson, Sogard, and Jacobson, and on the mound for La Crosse, Chaz Sagadol, freshman left-hander out of Southeastern Community College. That's a school that's in Burlington, Iowa. This is his 4th start of the year already. 14 innings pitched, an ERA that sits at 3.21, 14 Ks to 7 walks for him early this year, and it's a lefty-lefty matchup to start things off, Ari, with Augie Isaacson.
Sagadol doesn't overpower guys. His fastball sits in the mid-80s, but will throw a two-seamer, a changeup, slider, curveball, and has good control over all those pitches, and that's how he's able to get guys out. And has had a good season so far.
Isaacson scoring to bunt on an 0-1 count and fouls it off, and Sagadol so far getting the better half of this at-bat. He's got Isaacson down 0-2, and Augie is not an easy out. He is currently holding the 3rd best batting average in this league. Earlier this week, that was way up in first, but he's dipped down a little bit, only hitting .417 now. He was on quite the pace to start off the year. So you wait, Sagadol's 0-2. Off speed down in the dirt. Pretty easy take for Isaacson. It's 1-2.
And you talk about a slow stretch for Augie Isaacson. Yesterday he was 1 for 5, or 2 days ago, 1 for 5, a run scored. Not exactly the worst game, but when you're batting about .430, that's, I guess, a bit of a rough game.
Sophomore from Friends University. Oh wait, Sagadol's 1-2. Really nice location, but an even better take from Isaacson. It's 2-2.
Isaacson didn't even have a rough road trip by any stretch. The 2 games against La Crosse, he was 3 for 8, scored twice, drew a walk, and stole 3 bases.
2-2 fastball, beautiful pitch on the outside corner. Isaacson watches it go by, and it's in for called strike 3. So Sagadol starts his half of the first the same way Mo Guillon started his, with his first strikeout, 1 away in the first.
Now batting the shortstop, number 11, Nick Sogard.
So Nick Sogard is next. The Duluth shortstop tonight, hitting .364. First pitch catches the outside edge, and Sagadol, just like Mo Guillon, hitting his spots early. One misses down and in, ball and a strike now. Sogard, sophomore at Loyola Marymount, school that's in Westchester, Los Angeles, California. Sogard, a Sacramento native. Way out in front of that 1-1 pitch, and quickly he's behind 1-2.
Sogard had a good start to the year. Didn't have a great series against La Crosse. He was 0 for 8, but was 2 for 4 in the last game with a walk.
1-2 coming, misses downstairs. And you kind of mentioned it, Ari, when we started off this inning, that Sagadol is not a guy that's going to overpower you, but these off-speed pitches have been messing with Duluth hitters here to start off this game. Sogard lucky to lay off that one. 2-2 coming. Slow rolling ball to left side. Pettigrew will pick it up off of a couple of hops. That's on to first, and a high throw to McGuire, and it pulled him off the bag. Only just, but enough to allow Nick Sogard to be into first safely. Now the attention falls to the official scorekeeper. That'll probably be an error.
And it's always a tough play on a slow ground ball to the hot corner, and a speedy guy like Sogard. It was a close play at first, regardless of whether the throw was pulling him off the bag.
And they do rule it an error, so score that an E5. For La Crosse, their 34th error of the year. As the freshman out of South Carolina, Kyle Jacobson, steps in. Watches called strike 1 go on by.
And we'll see if Tiger Peterson gives the signal to Sogard. They've been aggressive all year. You mentioned they lead the Northwoods League in stolen bases. Sogard a part of that, and a speedy guy.
Swinging on an 0-1 count was Jacobson, and just fouls it off a little bit. It's 0-2. Yep. Sogard 3 of 5 stealing bags this year, and the league leading Huskies in stolen bases, they've snagged 61 of them this year, which is 16 more than any other team. Jacobson, the left fielder, hitting .259, just finishing up his freshman year at South Carolina. As Sagadol checks on the runner over at first, Sogard. Nothing doing over there, back in plenty of time. Probably not a threat to run right now, but you never know. Still 0-2 with Jacobson, here it comes. Off speed, hit high in the air to right center. Steve Mann going back on this ball, looking back, still going, and it is off the bottom of the wall. He can't get there. Sogard's going around third. Jacobson on his way to third, and coming in to score is Sogard. It's an RBI triple for Kyle Jacobson, and it is 1-0 Duluth Huskies.
Great hit by Jacobson, smacking the ball into opposite field, right into the gap, getting himself onto third base, bringing the run in. Showing off some power. We've seen that power on the last road trip where he hit 2 home runs and no doubter. That one, if he pulls that a little better, maybe he leaves the ballpark.
It is a big ballpark, 340 down the right and left field lines, 380 feet to straightaway center field. Maybe in a different ballpark that gets out of here, but not this one. But the next best thing, an RBI triple, as the Huskies have themselves an early lead.
As you can see, it's not necessarily the dimensions that make it so hard to hit it out of Wade Stadium, but the walls are so high all around.
You talk about those walls that sit up over 10 feet high, plus the lake effect with winds usually blowing in off the lake, which is beyond left field here. Lake Superior. It's not a small lake by any means. It's in the name. As Chris Gilbody steps in, the catcher tonight, swinging on the first pitch and fouling it back, he awaits the 0-1. Nice backdoor curve, but it just misses the zone. It's a ball and a strike.
How about the start for the year for Chris Gilbody? He's passed Augie Isaacson in average, batting .429. Has moved himself into second behind Tyler Reichenborn from Wilmer. And we didn't really think, but coming in, he's had a great start to the year.
And he has another nice start here, bringing in a run on an RBI ground out to second. As Jacobson comes in to score, Gilbody will take that. It's 2-0 Duluth.
Good piece of hitting there, and a 2-run lead. We've seen that a lot from Duluth, putting up crooked numbers in the first couple innings, and there it is again today.
They strike early a lot of the time, and that holds true again tonight. So here's John Lagatuda. Bases empty, 2 gone. First pitch fastball. Runs a little bit too inside. Ball and no strikes.
We didn't get too much of a chance to talk about the last game against Eau Claire, where the Huskies, they looked tired. They had a rough travel schedule, having to go back to Duluth before the game. They come in, they've played a lot of games in a row, you can kind of tell, and plus the rain delays and some sloppy defense, and looked a little bit sluggish on offense. And even still, though, a chance to win that game in the top of the 8th probably would have taken the lead, if not for a diving play at third by the third baseman, Adam LaRocque, would have taken the lead in the 8th. So we're coming out hot today, looking rejuvenated on offense.
And you think that they could use, and everyone else could use, a day off yesterday. Monday, the first league-wide day off of the year. 2-1 comes in and hits Lagatuda. Wears it on his upper back. That does not feel good. And that's the first time that the freshman out of Cal has been hit by a pitch this year. And the Huskies have a 2-out base runner.
And most of these guys not used to playing at that everyday pace. So a lot of them can really appreciate a day off whenever they can get it, playing every single day for the first few weeks.
20 games in 20 days for Duluth to start off the year, and yesterday their first day off. They were happy to have it, but now they're back on the field. First pitch to Justin Mitchell, the designated hitter, fouls it back. 0-1 Mitchell, making his home debut tonight. This is, for Mitchell, this is his 5th game with Duluth. Showed up on that road trip and finally gets to wear his home uniform for the first time. Just finishing up his freshman year at Oklahoma and stayed with them before they got knocked out of the NCAA tournament. It's the 0-1. Nice backdoor breaking ball, but it misses the zone. Ball and a strike, 1 on, 2 out, 2-0 Duluth. Thanks to a RBI triple by Jacobson and an RBI ground out by Chris Gilbody. There goes the runner from first, swinging to no avail was Mitchell. Throw down to second is not in time. And Lagatuda has himself his 5th stolen base of the year, the 62nd stolen base for the Huskies. And this changes everything. A runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Justin Mitchell at the plate.
Great jump by Lagatuda, easily beating the throw. And as it got away, he probably had a chance to make it to third, as it was pretty far between the shortstop and center fielder, Williams. But wasn't able to react in time. But either way, in scoring position with another good hitter at the plate.
Mitchell, a .364 hitter so far in a small sample size of just 4 games, as mentioned. A chance to bring in the 3rd run of the game for Duluth. 1-2 swung on in the air to right center field, tailing away from Williams, and that gets down in front of him. Rounding third, coming in to score is Lagatuda. A little bit of trouble in center. for Williams, but holding up at first is Mitchell. An RBI base hit for one of the newest Huskies, his second run driven into the year. It is 3-0 Duluth in the first.
As I mentioned, Nate, looked hot coming out, rejuvenated after that day off. We've seen this all year, putting up a big number in the first inning and giving Mogion, who looked really good in that first inning, some room to work. I feel like you say this almost every broadcast with the Huskies these past few weeks, but so much easier to pitch when you have that lead and settle into a comfort zone and not have to worry about every single base runner trying to come across.
Sagadol was off to a nice start this inning, had a strikeout and then had a slow ground ball to third, but ever since the error made by Zion Pettigrew at third, things have changed as that foul ball whistles right by where we are. And it's 0-1. Ari and I are perched up on top of the roof here at Wade Stadium. Basically follow the net that's behind home plate all the way up to the top, and you'll find us. Runner at first is Mitchell. Esquera's the batter, a .214 hitter. Takes an 0-1 on the outside, a ball and a strike. Esquera, sophomore at Loyola Marymount. San Diego, California native. Playing first base tonight is where you'll usually find him defensively. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball, chopper to the left side, tough play. Picked up by the third baseman, Zion. Now it's not Corey Lee who throws on to first, and that is in time. And the inning is over. Esquera thrown out at first to end the inning, but not before 3 runs come in to score as the Huskies have themselves a 3-0 lead over La Crosse through 1 inning at Wade Stadium. Keep it right here. To the top of the second we go in just a moment. Over this 10th inning game, we're in the bottom of the 10th at Wade Stadium. Zach Penrice alongside Tanner Hoops in a 2-2 game between the Moondogs and the Huskies. Duluth scored 1 run in the first inning. They scored the game-tying run in the 8th, as Mankato scored both of their runs on consecutive base hits in the third. An RBI double from Josh Elver and then an RBI single from Blaze Glenn scored the 2 for Mankato. As the Huskies here, Tanner, with a huge opportunity and a dangerous top of the order with Isaacson, Sogard, and Byer. But first, a look at the new arm into the game for the Moondogs.
Yeah, Jacob Nagel comes in, a right-hander, 6'6", 225, a sophomore at Bellarmine. He's had a Bolingbrook, Illinois 0-1 record. That lone loss came against the Huskies on May the 30th. He'll be making his third appearance, 4.05 ERA, 6 2/3 innings. He's given up 4 runs on 3 hits. He's walked 7, but also struck out 7. He's got a fastball, curveball, changeup. He tops out around upper 80s on his fastball. So he's a finesse pitcher at this level, but certainly a guy that's capable of getting his team out of a big spot. Dear Tiger Peterson, and the Duluth Huskies, this is exactly who you want leading off the inning. That's why you put him in your leadoff spot. Augie Isaacson tonight is 3 for 4 with a run scored and a stolen base. He reached base in all plate appearances last night, so he has reached base in 9 of his last 10 plate appearances. The one he didn't was back in the second on that line shot down in the right field corner when C.J. Huntley made one of the best diving catches you'll ever see in a Northwoods League game or in really any game. So here we go in the bottom of the 10th. Isaacson leading things off. First pitch swinging, lines it down the left field line. That is a fair ball into the corner. Watch out, Isaacson's got speed. On his way to second, thinking about third. He'll hold up at second, though, as he continues his hot streak, reaching base, 10 of 11 plate appearances. He's got a leadoff stand-up double in the bottom of the 10th. Augie Isaacson does Augie Isaacson things. His third double this season. He is aboard representing the winning run. And now this is a situation where I'm probably walking Nick Sogard. He's been a hot bat. His run wouldn't mean anything. It put a double play in order. If I'm Ryan Craig, I'm issuing an intentional walk right here.
Let's see if they're thinking the same way you are. I agree. Got first base open. You might as well go for that force out, especially because Sogard's run would not matter at all. But it looks like they're going to pitch to him. First offering on the way. Fastball catches the outside corner. It's 0-1. Sogard tonight 2 for 4. An RBI single back in the first. He also singled in the 5th. A couple of flyouts tonight as well.
Got his first Northwoods RBI driving in Augie back in the first inning.
Winning run at second. Nobody out in the 10th. Little looper into left. That gets down in front of Klugerman. This might do it. Nope, they're going to give the stop sign to Isaacson at third. That's probably a smart decision by Tiger Peterson. Runners at the corners with nobody out. Here in the 10th inning, Nick Sogard moves Isaacson up 90 feet.
Now Sam Byer with a chance. You put one in the outfield any which way, and it could very well be enough to send Augie Isaacson.
Got to mention the defensive changes for the Moondogs. Max Wright, the new catcher, into the game, and Evan Klugerman moves from catcher to left field. Everybody is in. The infielders are in on the grass for Mankato, as you would imagine they are. There's a look at their defensive alignment. Outfielders are in as well. But if this ball gets out of the infield, this one's over. First pitch breaking ball finds the outside edge, 0-1. Nice start for Jacob Nagel here. In a really difficult situation with great speed on the base paths and nobody out in the 10th.
Byer 1 for 4 tonight, singled. Came around to score the tying run back in the 8th. The Huskies have greeted Nagel rudely here in the 10th.
The 0-1. Swung on back to the screen. It's 0-2.
A little bit of a late decision there by Sam to swing at it. He's got to find a way to put the ball in play.
Yeah, if you're Nagel here, you really need a strikeout or an infield pop-up. Those are really the only two things that would be considered a win. Isaacson with great speed can probably score on any sort of pop fly to the outfield. 0-2 coming home. High chopper that gets over, and it is through, and this one is over. An RBI base hit for Sam Byer, scores Augie Isaacson, and the Huskies walk it off in the 10th. Sam Byer mobbed as he delivers the game winner, his second base hit of the night. Isaacson scores his second run of the night, and a huge come-from-behind victory for Duluth. They move to 9-5 on the season.
Well, it'll be the second RBI of the season for Byer, and it could not have come at a bigger time as the Huskies will pick up a sweep over rival Mankato this evening.